Our program BUS, Business Application and Space Solutions, gives an opportunities to companies of any size across any markets to develop commercial solutions using space technologies and data. ESA BUS has initiated task forces. The ambition of those task forces is to federate and aggregate user demand on a set of goals, innovation topics, whereby space solutions could play an enabling role. And by BUS doing so, we aim at creating a critical market mass for companies applying for ESA BUS funding and to help them scaling up their commercial solution in a global market.
My name is Dr. Alfonso Martinez Felipe. I'm a director at the board of the Aberdeen Renewable Energy Group, and I'm also a proud member of the Energy Task Force. Before joining the task force, I obviously knew something about space work, but I wasn't aware of all the possibilities. I've always been fascinated with the universe, and when I was a child, I wanted to be a physicist. It didn't go very well, so I decided to go chemical engineering, but it's really good that at this stage of my career, I can link the two passions of my life together. And I mean, to be honest, 99% of the energy which is on Earth comes from the sun. So it makes absolutely sense to look back to the sky to look for solutions that we have here on Earth.
Since those partnerships have been very fruitful so far, we decided that we bring in expertise from lots of different key stakeholders, because basically what the task force objective is that all those members, they bring in their unique expertise and know-how in order to help us understand how the sector is working and then support the industry, the commercial sector, to develop services that address their needs.
The task force is a group of experts, which both expertise in space work and also in energy. We're trying to put their minds together and see how technology which is already available can be used for energy projects.
Space technologies and space-based services are deeply entangled in all aspects of our civilization, basically. And also then I started looking more into the aspects of how it's related to the energy system, and I figured, why is not everybody talking about this?
You'd be surprised at the stakeholders that ESA is pulling together to really provide value for the energy transition and support new technologies. It's a tremendous opportunity to be part of that.
I think it's also a way to bring together things that seem very complicated, like space and satellites and communication stuff, to actual people who are working here on Earth. So for me, it's a really good opportunity to do dissemination of technology and science as well.
There's a lot of challenges, obviously, in the energy transition of different kind. We in the future of energy supply are looking at aspects related to sustainable hydrogen, to renewable electricity generation, and also to heat. And in your department, you're focusing on the data, right?
Exactly. We have the more digitalization aspect that we look at, also cybersecurity, transmission of data. But we've also seen with working with startups is that they use space data in helping close the energy access gap using Earth observation data and come up with new solutions there.
I like to think of data as at the top of my list. So, the opportunity to do things with data, especially with the availability of tools to make sense of that data and do intelligent things with it is just tremendous.
Being able to use space technology, satellite technology for communication, you can bypass issues of having slow communication, particularly in areas that are more remote. There's a lot of use for space technology, and so it's exciting to be involved in that.
Speaking to non-space organizations that have no clue about space technology and data, obviously we tend to collaborate very closely with their innovation teams. Because they are the ones that are usually on the forefront of innovation and doing something outside of the box.
Operating remote installations for hydrogen production in a safe way will require a lot of technology, and space technology can be really useful because if we can separate the hydrogen production sites from the consumption sites, we will make the technology safer. And that's where actually satellite communication, visualization techniques, mapping, emission detections, and that could be a really useful asset for us.
The technology is moving quickly, but the adoption of the technology in this industry, in the utility industry, still is too slow.
I'm Charles Esser. I'm the Secretary General of EDSO, European Distribution System Operators. I'm hoping to really get out of it value for our members and try to also contribute what our members do that takes value from space, and of course in our case it's mostly satellite type related solutions. I think the bottom line is that space-based solutions, particularly dealing with satellite, deliver higher quality electricity supply to European citizens.
One of the most important things is they represent organizations from across the globe. So obviously, as a program, BUS only fund companies, industry that are members of the ESA member states. Ideally, we want them to support those applications that the industry is developing, not only at European scale and national scale, but international as well.
They get to meet their peers in other parts of Europe and find out that they've had the same challenges, that they're looking to solutions, that they can help each other, I think is a really gratifying as a professional.
I always find that when you have different people with different backgrounds, different expertise coming from different sectors and put them together in one room, that's when really great ideas come up and innovation happens.
Collaboration is kind of our middle name at EPRI. That's from the beginning, that's what we've been designed for. Our collaboration has mainly been in the electric utility industry, and what working with ESA has done, and it's one of our main pillars in terms of our strategy anyway, is broadening that collaboration to a much broader range of stakeholders, and ESA has really helped with that.
One of the great things about working in this task force for us, for Aberdeen Renewable Energy Group, is the fact that we get access to a global community. I think the energy projects that we are dealing with, they require a multidisciplinary approach.
Finding out about the whole program at the European Space Agency around supporting new technologies and startup companies that take advantage of space technologies was really exciting and aligned directly with especially our Incubate Energy Labs program. The more we can take advantage of satellite imagery, of data from sensors that require satellite communications, it's just the applications just start piling on top of each other.
I'm going to find out, as being in the task force, about what others are doing, what's applicable for us as in the electricity distribution business. As European Space Agency looks to the future about where it makes its investments, and because in the end the European Space Agency, like any European agency, is supposed to benefit European citizens. The contribution of our particular industry, the electricity distribution business, gets put into those considerations.
Please do not work in silos. Collaboration is simply key, and spread the word about what your organization needs.
ESA BUS is not just about space, it's a gateway to cross-sector innovation.
Space technology can really help every single vertical and sector.
I would say that, the Earth is limited, but the space is infinite. So come and join us, because there's so much that we have to do, and we need a lot of hands to do it.